Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, today I'm going to be reviewing Critters. So I have never seen Critters before, and I know so many people talk about it, although every time I think I'm reviewing a movie that I feel like everyone has seen except me, I'll post the review and it turns out like half of you guys in the comments also haven't seen it, so it makes me feel less bad. But I know a lot of people talk about this movie, so I figured I would finally give it a watch. I actually intended to watch like all of them, but I didn't get around to watching the rest of them, and it would have been a super duper long video. So yeah, without further ado, let's just talk about Critters, the first Critters, mind you. Directed by Stephen Herek, probably said that wrong, and follows these furry creatures from outer space who have escaped custody. They crash land on Earth in a small Midwestern town with two shape-shifting bounty hunters hot on their tails. Figurative tails though, because they don't actually, even though they're furry little alien things, they don't actually have tails. But yes, this is the first time I have seen any Critters movie at all. I figured if I had seen Gremlins, I pretty much had the gist of Critters, so I didn't feel a need to like rush and go see Critters. Although apparently the script for Critters was like written and purchased before Gremlins was even conceived, although it came out like 2 years after and was marketed as like New Line Cinema's answer to Gremlins. But like Gremlins, it was a super fun movie to watch. The big thing is the Krites themselves, of course, who are practically achieved and operated via puppeteers. They look really good, especially the eyes, and their faces are super expressive as well, which was fun. And I did like their attitudes. They do have a little bit of snark to them. They have their own language, which I guess was partially a combination of Japanese and French. They do give you subtitles and they're funny, they curse, they're punny. So you don't get a lot of them like talking and being silly in this movie necessarily. Probably because it's the first one, so it's just kind of like an introduction to the Krites. I assume in the sequels they get to be a bit more fun and silly, I think. I'm just guessing. And the plot was a fairly standard Gremlin-esque style as well. The family gets terrorized by the Krites while also just trying to figure out exactly what it is that is attacking them. The best part of this, in my opinion, are the bounty hunters that are after the Krites, who seemingly download all this information about Earth. Like you see them like, you know, the stereotypical like a whole bunch of like news stories and history stuff flashing in front of their face. So you assume they're like downloading this information about Earth, but apparently they didn't download any vital information like how to use doors properly or how to drive a car properly. And they just like, when they get to Earth, they really just have no plan and they just show up in random places and walk through them all silently and blow things up with their guns until they realize that the Krites are there, and then they just leave. Hands down, the funniest part of the movie. There are a lot of fun, familiar faces in this movie. Remember when my patrons were telling me about the movie, because I told them I hadn't watched it, they told me that Billy Zane was in it with hair, which was like, that interested me. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know that I've ever seen Billy Zane with hair besides the Titanic. I'm sure he's been in a lot more movies where he's had hair, but I feel like he's most iconic with no hair, just saying. Besides Billy Zane, there's also Dee Wallace in the movie, and Lin Shaye is in this movie. Like, I didn't know that going in. My patrons in the comments are probably gonna be like,
we told you she was in this movie.
But when the credits were rolling in the beginning, I saw her name and I was like, what, my girl is in this movie? So it was just a fun time. I'm glad I finally got to see it, and I will eventually get around to the sequels. They just seem like fun movies, especially once you've already seen them. They seem like fun movies to have on in the background as well, which is not a slight on the movie at all. I like put on a whole bunch of my favorite movies all the time and just play them in the background while I'm like cleaning and doing other things. Overall, the movie was fun. I feel like I've said fun about 17 million times in this movie, but it's apt in describing the movie. And like I said, I will eventually go watch the sequels. I'm not in any hurry to go watch the sequels because the movie wasn't like insanely good. It was just fun. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I feel like that's fair. On IMDb, it has a 6.1 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 56% critic score, and that's out of 18 reviews, and a 45% audience score, and that's out of over 53,000 reviews. On Letterboxd, it also has a 3 out of 5, and from you guys, it's mostly 2s, 2.5s, and 3s. So if you've already seen Critters, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. Let me know what you think about the sequels as well, and which ones are worth my time and which ones aren't so much worth my time. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it doesn't always work. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.
This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link that is in the description of this video. No pressure, but it's there if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye!